Inside of here, we have a knife coming from a good friend of the channel, Ray from Everyday City Carry, and it just came with no box. It just came in this package. So without further ado, bam, this is the knife that we are looking at. And what are we looking at? Well, I'm glad you asked, guys. We are looking at the Rike S05 V2. Now, I didn't get a chance to check out the V1, but this V2 definitely has some very interesting things going on here. So I'm already kind of loving what's going on here in the back spacer. That pocket clip right there is pretty epic. So let's sort of break it down a little bit here, little by little. We got this half circle, right, engraving or milled out portion right there with the 2+ signs. That's looking interesting and unique. Even has this little milling there as well. So, you know, giving it personality. We have a Timascus. It definitely looks like a Timascus pivot going on there. Not the color, but the pivot itself. So that's a nice touch with the Reich logo. And going into that back spacer right there, that is absolutely epic. Looks like Timascus going on in the middle. I'm not sure what the gold ones are on the side, so I'll definitely make sure to look that up and add it. Now, of course, what I'm finding the most interesting is how this middle layer here is kind of on its own. It's kind of been given some space by the other two golden back spacers, if you would. That's also your lanyard solution there, by the way. That's also neat. And it's also protecting you from the blade itself. It actually wraps around specifically where the blade is. Now, if that isn't, you know, borderline work of art, I don't even know what is. That is extreme attention to detail and a very unique take on a lanyard solution, right? Very nice and elegantly done. I want to say the hardware here is also looks like titanium. Yeah, absolutely no pull on these. We got a Timascus pocket clip, which absolutely looks really nice. Not reversible and about that much deep carry. Gives you something to pinch and pull out of the pocket. And absolutely a lot going on here. Even a nice little inlay here of carbon fiber. Was not expecting that at all, but it has that as well. I mean, the more I look at this knife, the more I am just kind of impressed with all the fine little details here and there. But let's go ahead and get this blade deployed here. We have a flipper, we have an opening hole here. What's interesting is the half circle opening hole kind of offsets this other milled out half circle here. Same thing on the other side, so that's an interesting touch. And we have the same kind of plus signs going on the blade as you do on the handle. So again, very interesting design choice right there. I'm sure it's part of, you know, the way the knife was designed with the theme behind it. Again, the S05 V2, but bam, there we go, guys. That is the blade we are looking at on this knife. Holy macaroni. I'm gonna give it a nice little wipe here so you guys can take it in. Take a look. So we have, this is very interesting. It's like a flat grind all throughout. There's no dual ground here, at least not that I can tell. So it looks like a flat grind all throughout, but you do have this portion here is a recurve. So it's maybe like a recurve tanto, right? We're gonna roll with that. Otherwise, you know, there's a clip point section up there. So we can call it the recurve clip point tanto. How about that? Otherwise, get the blade police out here after metal complex, right? Then get them out here to figure out what this thing is. But M390 on the steel, and these are serialized, guys. We're looking at number 133, right? Number 133. That's a nice little touch, and I love that font. Very elegant font that they use, right? Very nice and elegantly done S05. Check out the jimping here, right? That is some aggressive jimping. Talk about, you know, that's gonna definitely either hold you locked in or rip your finger apart in the process. But yeah, definitely gonna give you some grip, like Nick Shabazz will say if you walk into the Vaseline factory, right, with your thumb on this jimping. That knife is not going anywhere. But hey guys, really quick, I just posted a video for the 35K subscriber giveaway. I'm giving away 15 different knives, so I'll have a link to that video in the description and pinned comments. Thank you all so much for this amazing growth. 35,000 subscribers is an amazing number. Hopefully we can get to 50K by the end of the year. Check out the video, get entered to win, and best of luck to everybody. Checking out the ergos, I mean, it feels really good on the ergonomics department here. This is the hammer grip, which feels good. Pocket clip is actually comfortable, surprisingly comfortable, so I'm gonna give it a good 9 out of 10. Love to see that. Also loving this curvature right here, which makes it nice and comfortable to hang on to. The titanium is also nice and sort of got these cutouts on the side, which makes it a little bit more, you know, less of an aggressive turn and therefore more comfortable on the hand, without a doubt. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty small, but that is a finger choil. Could have made it a little bit bigger there, but in a pinch, if you needed to use that as a finger choil, section there, you can also, as a result, good plunge grind situation, so you don't develop a smile anytime soon. But yeah, this grip right here feels pretty good. Obviously being very careful there because the edge is right there, so something to be mindful of. And it is a, again, frame lock here, so not necessarily a whole lot of access from the show side, maybe a tad bit, but it's easy to, you know, push down into the left and disengage. That's actually a pretty smooth action. Steel insert for steel and steel contact, and we're gonna go with what, maybe 20% or so on the lockup. All right, that feels about right. And very smooth on the disengagement there. And let's see, on the close. Oh man, come on now. Listen to that. Oh, come on. Reich. Reich absolutely, oh man, absolutely knows how to nail it here. That feels really good, guys. So the back flipper, again, has some minimal jimping on it. Kind of lines up with the handle in a way. So you can light switch it all day. You can push button it. Both will work. Can you feel it? Yeah, I guess if you don't even try, you could. But yeah, as far as the reverse flick goes, you can reverse flick all day. Got to overcome the detent. This is where the detent is at, right there. So drop it a little bit lower, and then it just drops on its own. Thumb deployment, as long as I don't put additional pressure on the lock bar. There we go. So it's got a, you know, somewhat of a late detent. You got to overcome if you want to, or make it past if you want that drop shotty action like that. So do a slow roll as well. And again, I'm trying to put my fingers on the actual pocket clip to avoid adding unnecessary pressure to the lock bar. But man, talk about some sweet action, right? Sweet action right there. Loving the acoustics. Also, take a listen. Absolutely sounds like money.
Money!
But it is coming in at a whopping over 8 inches, like 8.25. Yep, 8 1/4, with a 3.5 inch blade, a 3.5 cutting path, and a handle of over 4.5, 4.75 on the handle there, more or less. Blade stock thickness here coming in at 0.15, so it is a little bit girthier than the average 0.5 in the channel. And the thickest portion of the handle is going to be 0.52, just a hair thicker than the average 0.5 or half an inch in the channel. All right, another quick thing that I'm noticing as I'm right here. Guys, check this out. You got the body screws on this side, right? The non-show side. Guess what? They only screw from one side. You do not see them on the show side at all. So that gives you a very clean, aside from the captive pivot, of course, I mean, you don't see any hardware at all. That is absolutely a nice touch right there. Attention to detail, no doubt. And as far as the weight goes, let's see, right, where this one comes in. I want to tell you, it doesn't feel that heavy at all. That's because we have a lot of milling going on here, especially on the non-frame lock side or non-lock bar side. And absolutely helps there a ton. I want to say, yeah, this thing's got to be somewhere around 4.5. 4 to 4.5. I'm going to roll with that. All right, look at that. Just a hair over 4.5. 4.6 ounces or 131 grams to be exact. So I'll take it, right? I'll take it for it being a premium knife, right? Being a large size and, you know, having a good chunky blade, right? Absolutely sign me up. Some quick rapid fire size comparisons right here. To give you a ballpark, there is the MSI. Here's the Stitch, right? So it's going to be a little bit smaller than both of those, as you guys can see. Keeping it in America here, we got the PM2, we got the Para 3, right? Very similar to the PM2 size-wise. You guys be the judge there, obviously larger than the Para 3. And last but not least, there is the Demko AD 20.5 and the Kunwu Chad, right? So definitely borderline right there. Very on par with the Chat, larger than the 8020.5, but hopefully you own some of these, so I'll give you more or less the ballpark where this one lands size-wise. And of course, all linked down below in the description and pinned comment if you guys want to check out prices, availability, and variants. Those help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. And at zero extra cost, of course, highly appreciated. Now, a moment of truth, right? Let's see what this M390 can do. Future me put that HRC on the screen. Again, we have a recurve here. And then they got this belly portion right here, kind of tanto clip point looking geometry. So 5x zoom, it definitely passes a scientific nail test. And let's see, it looks something like this. I want to say, you know, it's not a brand new knife out of the box. I'm not sure how much Ray has used this knife in the past or not. But so far, definitely creating some swirls there. We'll try to get some full cuts here with the, there we go, recurve portion. I want to say it kind of stops here once it reaches this little peak portion right there. Let's see. Or you can carry the cut all throughout the belly. That belly, of course, is going to cut really, really nicely. Check that out. Bam. Boom. Bada bing. Back to the recurve. All right, spoiler alert, guys, the knife cuts, right? And again, it's a factory edge, I'm sure. I don't think this thing has been resharpened, so hanging onto a pretty decent edge right there. Single wall piece of cardboard, cutting diagonally for better performance. It's going to look something like this. There we go. All right, absolutely made some quick work out of that cardboard. I'm going to give her a nice little wipe here. And it's like as if nothing happened. So yeah, clearly it can definitely cut material pretty well. I know this is not the most advanced cutting test out there, but at least just to showcase it in action, right, what it can do, right, performance wise. You can definitely do a lot more than that, but you know, some paper and cardboard, right, should make a pretty straightforward statement there. Guys, rate this thing in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10, 10 being the sharpest, right, factory edge on this one. You all let me know. Alright guys, well there you have it. That is the S05 from Reich Knives. In case you guys don't know, Reich and Quechua are sister brands. They are OEMs of China, and they provide some really good value production knives that often seem like custom knives. Like if you looked at me, like if you told me that this is a custom knife made by a custom knife maker and not a production knife, I will believe you 100%. If this was a custom knife, it would probably cost $200 to $300 more, or $400 more than what it costs. So I'll have this guy linked down below. Of course, this knife is not meant for everybody out there, right? There's specific audience, knife enthusiasts, serious knife collectors and whatnot. Somebody's gonna comment, well, I can get a nice knife for under $100. And I'm like, you absolutely can. That is absolutely true. 1000%. But you know, different knives are meant for different audiences. So some people have already graduated from the run-of-the-mill great budget knives, which are awesome. And again, I also love them myself. Some people might be looking for something a little bit, you know, a little bit more spicy, a little bit more unique, a little bit more special to add to their collection, to spice up their collection. That's where this knife comes in, and Reich and Quechua definitely excel at that. These are serialized. The execution, the OEM, machine work, QC, quality check, I mean, everything is through the roof on these knives. So can't recommend them enough if this speaks to you, right? I feel like if you pick up this knife, you already like what you see, and you pick up this knife, you would not be disappointed. Action's great. It's got some quirkiness to it, right? Especially now that it's open, right? Check it out. Both half moons or half circles kind of align, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 plus signs. So, you know, even the design itself has a little bit of, you know, if you told me this was carried by a pirate some, you know, years ago, I don't know. I'll believe you, because it kind of gives me that vibe as well. So something obviously unique, different, right? Almost borderline custom made knife, if you would, but at production knife prices. Absolutely sign me up. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this one? What do you like about it? What do you love about it? Is there anything you dislike about it? Let me know, and let's hang out in the comment section down below. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.